Wow,
Yeah.
there's dogs everywhere here. The dogs are everywhere.
Is Tom here too?
No, Tom's on the bed. He's lazy.
I don't think here. Oh, yeah, we're live.
So we're here?
Yep.
Okay. Hey, everybody. There's dogs everywhere. Oh, there's a delay on YouTube, I guess.
Yeah, that's how it's
Oh,
gonna be.
okay.
Yeah, it's probably like a 20-second delay or something.
Gotcha. Yeah, we're dog sitting for a friend, and we have Alacia here. Lacia's our little new buddy over here, and she's very nice, but she cries a lot. She sounds like a little monkey, like all freaking day, But whatever, she's cool though.
Yeah.
As long as you just like touch her, I guess she's fine. So.
She likes when you hold her. She's cute.
Oh yeah, there's like a 30-second delay.
Yeah, I don't know why, but
okay,
whatever.
all right, that's cool.
Should be fun.
So I mean, are you gonna do your
Yeah.
beginnings duties there?
Sorry, we got new mic arms, so now there's like another thing.
You got that mic like right in front of your
Yeah, I know.
face.
I'm trying to... What'd you drop?
The producer's dropping stuff.
Yeah. Okay. You hear me fine? Okay. Okay.
See, I like the way your mic is set up compared to mine.
Why?
I don't know. Like, do you like the way that this is fine here, or do you want me to do more like you?
I think it should be fine. You sit up a lot though, so you're
Well,
gonna
I
be like,
usually sit up, but now this is a more laid back
oh,
approach.
so you're gonna
now.
be
Well, because you said that that we're gonna be doing stuff on the screen. So
yeah.
all right,
I
fine.
mean, whatever. You can move around.
Man, lately this dog is like, ugh.
Welcome back, everybody. Another episode of Strangers in Exiles podcast. Kind of a podcast, a bit different now, but
Well, you want to say something? She doesn't. She wants to talk. All right. I mean, do you want to tell people what's doing?
yeah. I mean, we're gonna start changing things up now that we, because we're moving away from the whole other world religions thing. Oh, she growling at you?
No, I think she's like purring. But that might have to have you take her. I mean, because you want to go with Junior? Yeah, go. She's distracting. Oh, there we go.
Whoops! I didn't mean to do that. Oh, okay.
People are probably like,
Okay. So I don't know. You chill there. Sure. So we're moving away from the whole world religions thing. We spent like almost a year on that. Probably about around a year at this point.
yeah, that was fun.
With vacation and stuff.
Yeah, that was fun.
So we're gonna kind of start moving back to what we were doing originally, which is more like our church, the doctrine stuff.
Okay.
But one of my main, I guess, concerns was when we started, it was a bit more serious. But then we started going to other religions, and it started becoming more, more.
It started, they called the Beavis and Butthead.
Yeah. It started turning more into that, which I think is fun. It's cool. Obviously, if you're a follower of the other religion, as we're gonna see in a little bit, they weren't a big fan of that. But whatever.
Of course, yeah, it is what it is.
But it's both information, but also like trying to be entertaining. Not even only for them, but for us. Like, we're trying to have fun too.
I'll be honest with you. I've told you this since day one. I do this just to hang out with
Yeah,
you.
exactly.
Not really for anything else. I mean, the fact that other people are watching is good for them. I mean, they got nothing better to do with their
Yeah.
lives. But
So
for me, it's just to be able to hang out with you.
yeah. So now the question for me was, we're going to be moving away from that style of other religions and talking more about our religion, which isn't exactly very. There's nothing to joke about because now we're talking about our stuff.
Of course not. Yeah,
Um,
we only laugh at the others. We only laugh at the.
Yeah.
The devil is a liar.
Yeah, we
Yeah.
laugh at those.
Yeah.
But not ours, right?
So we're gonna be changing things up a little bit. We're gonna start segmenting a little bit more. Is what I want to do. Kind of change into like segments where maybe we do like a little Bible game, read comments, watch a video or something. We could have more fun, and it's not you talking for an hour and a half straight.
Perfect. That sounds good
Yeah.
for me.
Your throat will probably be less sore. After
Yes. My throat will be very happy.
Yeah. And then we'll move more into maybe at a certain point in the video, like actual we want to talk about.
Okay. Very
So-
good. Sounds good. Yeah. You kick it off, host. The hostess with the mostest.
What is this? What the heck? So before we start, please like and subscribe the video. It helps us all out. And yeah, helps more people see the channel. I was looking through comments because the first thing I want to do is we've been doing this for a year. Let's see some of the comments people have been putting about us out there. I think these are actually some of the older ones. And I find it's very funny, but so yeah, we're gonna start off with that.
Okay, go ahead, do it. It's you.
Okay, so I'm doing more like the other religion stuff. So I have Hinduism, some of the black religions, and then and Islam.
Okay.
So this first one is Hinduism, which Hinduism got a lot of a good amount of comments, especially on that first video.
That's what I'm saying. The Hindus are like zealous for their pantheon of gods.
Which I thought was interesting. I thought realistically, like obviously we're kind of making fun of, not even kind of, we basically were making fun of a lot of these religions.
It is what it is. Now does this appear on the
yeah, it's on the screen right now.
It's on the screen. Okay.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
Okay, all right.
Okay, so some of these are a little bit more serious and some of them were more funny. So I thought the second one was kind of funny if you want to read it out real quick.
Okay, it says, when your ancestors were still jumping from one tree to another in search of food, Hindus were discussing about the nature of reality. Okay.
I guess. I mean.
Sure,
yeah,
bro.
I
mean,
guess.
that's fine.
Our
Cool.
ancestors.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I don't know. It's just one of those things. Some of them were like very serious and like trying to like saying, oh, you got this wrong, or your entire view is wrong. The way you're looking at it is completely wrong.
Of course,
And then
we're
some of
looking
them
at because
were-
we're not Hindus, we're
Yeah.
Christians.
And then some were like this, like more insulting kind of thing, trying to make a joke of it.
Oh, this next one?
No, the one you
Oh,
just
yeah,
read.
yeah.
So this first one is very more, I don't really know what they were trying to say, but Hinduism has many philosophy called darshana. One is Advaita, which says there is only one consciousness and multiple matters. So I'm assuming that one. Next, this one. So I'm assuming that one consciousness is Brahman,
Okay, yeah.
Sure.
Brahman is the one consciousness,
and then
then
multiple matters is just like
everybody
everything.
else. Yeah.
Another is Sankhya. It's atheistic nature.
Okay.
So I guess
I don't even know.
I don't know what they're trying to say. Atheistic. We got Nyaya.
I remember that we talked about these,
Yeah.
the Nyaya and the Vaishika, and yeah.
Other philosophy too. So they say it was never a religion, it's a civilization.
Ooh.
So they make it more like it was a regional thing in India rather than it being like a set religion, I guess. They're trying to be their argument.
So just because they've been worshiping false deities for 6,000 years, that makes them more legit than ones that have only been doing it for like 4,000 years.
And I did a little bit of research on the whole 6,000 years thing, so I was interested, like, what does that really mean for them? And it was more like 6,000 years is the certain like one-off gods that they've been worshiping for years that is still in their religion, but it's not like the main ones that they worship now.
Okay.
Like it was a whole pantheon back then, and then they add new ones, and other ones become more popular, and then that kind of continues on and on.
Gotcha.
Like even churches for that, like their temples are more like 3,000 years old.
Okay.
And their writings are around there too. So it wasn't like 6,000 years ago there were writings.
Well, I remember that when we went through
Yeah.
the writings, them and Buddhism as well. It's like the Buddhism writings didn't even come about until like way after,
Yeah.
you know, so.
And then you get like the some of the more learned people, and they say that they almost have modern Hinduism, and then the older stuff based on the Vedas is Vedic religion.
Which I
Almost like
remember
a
we
separate
went through
religion.
that. Yeah.
So it's more like to say Hinduism is 6,000 years old is like saying Christianity and Judaism is the same religion that is 4,000 years old.
Exactly.
It's not really the same thing.
No, it's not.
So sure, 6,000 years old in theory, but it's not actually how it is. I forgot what this last one said.
Did he say Hinduism is a crumbled religion because it allows you to find the truth and share? There's literally nothing in the whole world which is absolute truth except material things. Wow, this guy went deep. So there is no truth. Every philosophy or ideas that are beyond our material nature of the universe is interpretation and faith and all spiritual, not absolute truth. See, once again, this guy doesn't know Jesus.
Yeah.
If you know Jesus, you know truth. So that's why we could sit there and say, you know, Hinduism is.
But why would I follow your Hinduism if it's not the absolute truth at the same time? Like maybe it's a different way of looking at it, but
Yeah, but this guy sounds like he was a Hindu that became an atheist,
yeah,
or like he just stopped believing or something.
Hinduism at least accepts that and gives you the freedom to search the truth. There's a dog under me. Not shove a bunch of stuff down your throat.
So in other words, we're brainwashed.
Yeah, and we're trying to like force it on other people.
And we're forcing Christianity on other people. They just say, unlock your mind and search for your own truth. But then ultimately, what is truth?
yeah,
If you're on your journey, what is your truth? What are you searching for?
yeah, I don't know.
And then what am I searching for? Is it the same thing?
Mm.
See, I'm searching for salvation, and I found it in Christ. But yeah, these
whatever.
people, these religions, you know what I mean? What are you gonna do?
This one was more of a funny one. I think this was also on a Hinduism video.
What did it say? IQ died 1,000 times in this
Yeah,
video?
let me actually. IQ died 1,000 times in this video. Sure.
Okay. Random guy. All right, bro. Good looking out.
I think this was the second or third Hinduism video we put out.
Wow. Reject religion and embrace Dharma. That's the only way to world peace.
Yeah.
Remember, Dharma is your way of living.
I think this was the title that I put on the video. It was like reject Dharma and accept the gospel, something like that.
Mm-hmm.
So they're like putting it the other way around. Some people really love to live in their Delulu world. I read other scriptures to learn something good from each of them.
Not just to criticize them, I
Yeah,
guess.
not just to criticize. Some read scripture to criticize. That's not why we're reading their scriptures. Obviously, like, I mean, it's obvious. We're gonna come at it from the point of view of we think this is false.
We got our presupposition.
Yeah.
We're Christians. But then obviously, remember, we're coming from an angle where we already know that you guys are wrong.
Yeah,
But don't get mad at us for that.
shows who is more genuine. I guess whatever.
Okay.
I mean, what is genuine at this point?
With them,
Yeah.
I don't even know. I mean, are they even there?
Like, who's defining your genuity? Is that a word? Am I making that up?
I think you just made up a new word.
Who-
Genuineness.
I guess who's making your morals? Who's saying what's right or wrong? And for
Brahman.
us, it's God.
God, for them is Brahman.
But for you, just being a nice person is good morals.
But even then, Brahman is an impersonal God, so what's the point?
Don't believe those crazy theories. Believe these other crazy theories. So I guess this one's an atheist, obviously.
good. That was good.
I guess. People who think the Earth is a center of the solar system and that evolution is a hoax button.
People are witty. People are
Yeah.
witty. I like that.
I mean, we
like that.
Christians do believe that evolution is false. So.
Yeah.
And we obviously have our own arguments for that, but we're not
Of
going to.
course.
We won't get into that right now.
I don't think any. I mean, are there Christians that believe that the Earth is the center of the solar system?
I don't think anyone believes that anymore.
I mean, at this point,
Yeah.
well, those are the same people that think the Earth is flat
yeah, obviously.
and that the Mars, the moon mission was false.
I mean, I don't know. It's just one of those things that you can't truly believe that that's true unless you're actually brainwashed with something.
Exactly.
Yeah, whatever. That's the thing about Christianity. They like to say that we're not rational, that we believe all these crazy things, but we look at things rationally and logically. And science, the real science, says that this is true, and it's something that we could look at, see, and observe, and actually experiment with. These dogs are annoying.
Yeah, go there. You gotta help us out with this. No. I mean, it's just a distraction. Thank you, Laylee. Oh, I shouldn't have said her name.
You already did a while ago.
Yeah, oh, I did.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
But yeah, we could actually like observe these things and see. So it's like we're not looking at it from an unrational point of view. We're just looking at things from logical point of views.
Exactly.
White guys giving their perspective on the Nation of Islam.
Get a life.
Get a life.
Oh, this is Nation of Islam.
Yeah, this is
all
Nation of
right.
Islam now. I noticed
It's kind of like that Book of Mormon song
Yeah.
that I played for you the other day.
this guy is full on Nation. All the different branches of the NOI are making progress in getting the messenger's teachings out, and Satan is angry. He has but a very short time.
Wow, this guy is like doomsday NOI.
So are we the white guys? Are we the Satan that are angry?
We're the Satan.
Yeah,
We're the
yeah.
bad people. Yeah.
I guess. I don't know what this person was trying to say, but whatever.
Yeah, it's stupid.
And I think this one, I'm pretty sure this one is Hebrew Israelites now. SMH, I just looked at a little, you're a joke. it says his hairs on his. Oh, so this one was talking about when we were talking about the end times.
Yeah.
It says the hairs on his head was white like wool, not his head was white. So I guess maybe one of us said like a little slip of the tongue.
Yeah, it was a little
And they're
slip.
like, "Oh,
and they
look
caught
at
us
you.
on.
Oh,
They
you're-
caught us quick.
You're a moron, I guess. This guy, I guess, he brought up a verse saying not to be hateful or show malice on your brother, but to show him, or else you'll be guilty. It's like, don't be judgmental, or else God will judge you for your judgments. But
Aren't they the same ones that call me Edomite?
yeah, exactly, right?
I mean, that might have been like a Christian person
Yeah,
that saw
maybe.
it, and you know.
No, but this video I clicked, it was a link to a Hebrew Israelite video.
Oh, okay.
So,
Right. It must be the woke Hebrew Israelites that
Yeah.
are not like openly calling everybody Edomites.
And this guy was very much on the whole group thing. I guess he's IUIC.
IUIC, yeah,
Yeah.
those are the purple gang.
And he was saying, don't let me in with the other guys.
Don't you
Yeah,
said
look.
don't let me in?
And the main thing is don't put IUIC with the other groups.
But IUI, that's the purple gang. They're just as bad though. But yeah, obviously the ISUPK, the one where
Yeah,
Captain
those
Paz,
are-
right? Those are the more
crazy ones. And this one,
don't let me in with those other guys.
let me go up. I thought this whole thing was interesting. I never realized this is one of the Islam videos. I can't remember if this was the first one or it's up there.
Okay.
It got very popular at some point, like recently, after we posted it.
Really?
Has like I think over 1,000 views I saw.
An Islam one?
Yeah, an Islam video.
Okay.
Is there a way that I could? I guess not. Let me go back down. So then it kind of sparked the whole thing in our comment section.
Of course, we never look at them, but like you actually looked at them and
It started with right now. It started with this guy's a Muslim,
okay.
and then
Man, he wrote a whole book.
I don't know if he's a Muslim or if he's just like very neutral grounded on the issue.
Okay.
But then this guy is also neutral grounded. Like I could tell this guy's atheist. So I guess we could start off with this first one. This textbook hypocrisy. This is textbook hypocrisy and bad scholarship. So whatever sources we found, bad
Yeah,
scholarship.
we're bad scholarship.
You condemn
It's their book.
You condemn Islam by isolating violent texts while refusing to apply the same method to Christianity. I guess obviously we could look back in church history and see the Catholic Church did a lot of evil stuff.
100%.
Especially after the schism. Like it got very very ugly back then.
Yeah, during the whole Crusades.
Yeah, and you could even apply that to the very early reformers. They were kind of doing that as well.
Yeah.
But we change nowadays, thankfully.
Yeah.
You can't really exactly say the same about all Muslims. Changing.
See that's the double standard. They
Yeah.
want to say, "Oh, but look at all the genocides y'all did," and then our position is, our genocides of the Crusades were in response to the genocides that you guys have been doing for hundreds of years. But then, independent of that, let's just say, okay, right now, what Christian is bombing buildings in Riyadh? You know,
Yeah.
what Christian is strapping a bomb to their chest and going into the Burj Khalifa?
Mhm.
Nobody. But why are the Muslims still doing it?
Yeah.
That's the question. But then they're gonna say, "Oh, but those are extremists." Blah 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 blah.
Historically, Christian institutions carried out mass violence for over a millennium. Crusades, inquisitions, forced conversions, colonial exterminations, religious wars in Europe, and church-backed slavery were not fringe movements. They were mainstream, organized, and theologically justified at the time. Which,
Okay.
I mean, yeah.
Hey, I'm not denying it.
It's more like the Middle Ages, around that 1000 area. It's true. I mean,
There's bad people in every age
Yeah.
of every religion.
but we don't accept that kind of behavior is the difference.
Of course, we'll say that those people
Yeah.
were motivated by the devil.
Exactly. And even though they do it in the name of Christ, obviously they're not saved.
Yeah.
If they do those kinds of actions. Overall, kind of just continues along that same thing. So in this guy, Saint Percival. Oh, maybe he's not actually. Maybe he's more like Catholic or something. So in conclusion, you're saying both Islam and Christianity are violent religions based on history. I couldn't agree more, but I still believe Islam is a far more violent religion in today's world.
Agreed.
Actually, I want to clarify something quickly. The main reason why Crusaders happened, why the Crusade happened, was due to Seljuk Turks expanding on Eastern Europe, which ultimately triggered the First Crusade. My point was Muslims are the reason why multiple Crusade wars happened, not Christians. So yes, Christians were forced to get bloody.
Okay. Oh, here we go.
Uh,
So these guys were going back and forth.
yeah.
Oh,
So now there's the
okay.
Muslim guy, historically inaccurate, and rewrites history to excuse Christian violence. The First Crusade was not a response to Muslims invading Eastern Europe. The Seljuk Turks defeated Byzantium at Mazikert in Anatolia, not Europe. Jerusalem had been under Muslim rule for centuries, and Christian pilgrimage largely continued without interruption. Okay, so this continues going on about the Crusades, and then he keeps on going now. The First Crusade was absolutely a response to the Turks invading the last fraction of the Roman Empire. The Byzantium Empire was part of Eastern Europe, despite much of its land in Asia. So yeah, it's turned into like a whole historical
Your reply
argument.
mixes a few facts with misleading narrative that removes Christian agency. Man, these guys are really going at each other. Hilarious.
So I found we don't have to continue going. I just found this very interesting. This happened in our comment section.
Yeah. I mean, because
Um,
once again, this isn't something that we've ever gotten into.
Yeah.
So
So this isn't the first video, obviously. Now that I'm looking at it, it's more probably when we're talking about the historical narrative of what happened with Islam.
yeah. Oh, this guy wrote bingo. You get it. They both suck. So in other words, like, is it like Christians and
Yeah, they
Muslims?
both.
Okay.
I think this guy is the atheist I was thinking of.
I leave it to agree to disagree. Christianity was violent religion, but I'm so thankful Islam never spread all over Europe because Islam is more violent than any other religions combined.
This is the guy that was arguing for Christianity.
Okay, you got another Christian there. True Christians don't kill. Educate yourself.
So this guy's what we were talking about. Like they weren't. You would argue they're not true Christians.
Question then: what was the 9/11 attacks, Paris terror attacks, and the bombings throughout the world? Yeah, who did those? It's those the Shia, the crazy Muslims.
Is because of Western innovation and imperialism about Iraq and the WMDs that weren't there and stuff like what they did to Abir Qasim al-Janabi. And this is what creates Muslim terrorism. I get it, you tend to look at this stuff through your own glasses, but if you look into it, you'll get a real answer as to why these attacks happen. They do not happen in a vacuum. 9 times out of 10, it's all payback.
Man, these people like got nothing better to do. I'm reading these comments and I'm like, don't they have lives that they have to like write long things here? I mean, are they that passionate?
Ooh, your argument is illogically fallacious, a red herring.
Oh, 3 weeks ago. Oh,
Yeah,
this is
it's
from
still going on, by the
this
way.
blue dot has been active on our deal. This is from just 3 weeks ago.
So what happens is when you comment on a video, if anyone likes or comments on your comment, then you get like a notification on your phone.
Gotcha.
So I think it's just like randomly someone will re-comment if they find the video, and then it just keeps on going.
Look at this. Now John 4836 is fighting with blue dot.
This is a lot more short conversation though. Red herring is not a counter argument. It's a shortcut for people who do not want to answer the point. What I said obviously went over your head completely. Sure it did.
Look, 6 days ago.
7 days ago. Christians stopped the violence. Muslims didn't. By Z Master.
Oh, see now look, this dude
Yeah.
blue dot is all over our deal.
Pale blue dot. Sure, you can't grape 24/7. I think he's trying to say like the R word.
Yeah. You're not allowed to say it on YouTube.
At some point, the graping is done and the violence stops. So yes, technically you're right. But that's until the graping starts again the next day. So it's more like a pause. I don't know what he was trying to say.
I don't know who he was responding to. That's fine.
Maybe it was something like we were actually talking about in our video. I don't know. So yeah, I just found this funny. I thought
This
the
blue
whole
dot
thing was
even from
interesting.
2 days ago.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
mean, this guy, what's up?
So yeah.
Okay. You never gotten into like
No,
what
you're
is
good.
that?
No, just switch the
Oh.
yeah.
You don't answer them?
No. I
You
mean,
don't
I
get
just saw
into
these
that?
today. Really,
Gotcha. Oh, okay.
I haven't been looking at comments. I'm not gonna lie, but now I kind of want to start. It's,
Yeah,
like,
now
very
it's interesting. I think
Mo-
we should mix up with them.
Most videos don't get comments. Like I was going like pretty far back in time to look at comments.
Yeah.
Um,
It's only like the spicy ones.
and a lot of them, most of the time, they aren't that either. It's like those first ones, like just kind of like saying, "Oh, you're wrong," or
trying to put us in our
Yeah,
place.
exactly, whatever.
'Cause we're
But that
idiots.
one I thought was like very interesting. That's why I kept the whole thing so we kind of looked through it
No, it's interesting. Good.
And I don't know, we'll come up with more games and stuff in the future, but I found this one. I thought we could kind of do it. You know Wordle, right? You played it before on my phone, I think.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah.
Yeah, where you try to guess the word. You get
Yeah.
like turns or whatever. It's called. This one is called the Lordle.
Okay.
Mikey, press control on my keyboard. There we go. So this one's called Lordle. So basically, you're trying to like pinpoint this verse where it is in the Bible.
Okay. The first living true like a lion. The second living true like an ox. The third had a face like a man's. The fourth creature looked like a flying eagle.
My first thought is Revelation.
It's Daniel.
Yeah, I was thinking Daniel Revelation. I just wasn't.
Yeah.
So let's see. Old Testament. So Daniel. Ooh, it is Revelation.
It is the book of Revelation. I could have
New
sworn it-
Testament. Gospels, Acts, Epistles, or Revelation?
Revelation.
Revelation, yeah. Okay, so now you're like pinpointing which chapter it is. Opening visions and messages. I don't think it's that because that's to the churches. Central vision of the book, God and the Lamb in the heavenly throne room.
It's either the first three or it's not. I don't think it's chapter 1. I think it's chapter 4.
I was thinking there. Okay, 4.
Okay, we're good.
4 or 5. The 4 living creatures, so it's surely 4, right?
Yeah.
Now it's like the actual
The
verses.
sections. 7 through 11.
This one says the 4 creatures.
Yeah. Like they're basically giving you the answer.
So now you have to.
Oh, okay. There you just. Yeah,
So-
so it's the first one there.
Okay.
No. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, cool.
Congratulations.
It's a short thing, but you know, whatever. We'll get more intricate with it in the
We'll
future.
figure it out. Yeah. I mean, this is the first time we ever played it. So.
Yeah. Like we'll come up with our own little custom games too. I just thought this was interesting. I literally found out this was a thing yesterday, so I thought it was cool.
Gotcha.
This one was like a little bit. It could either be Revelation or Daniel.
Yeah.
So
It's
it's a
just
little bit
yeah.
simpler, but okay. So now I guess that whole comment thing was interesting, but now on to what we actually wanted to talk about today.
Okay.
So, in trying to figure out where we want to go with the channel, obviously we want to talk more about Christianity at this point. There's a couple of things we talked about. Church history is one of those things, different doctrines. But I thought one that might be simpler and shorter and something interesting is where did our Bible come from?
Okay.
So, I know a couple years ago you did this in church.
Yeah, about 3 years ago.
Yeah. Both in English for our Bible study school and also for like actual little preachings.
Yeah, and I
For the
also did it
Spanish
in
version.
Spanish as well. Yeah.
The Spanish version of the Bible. So yeah, we get started here maybe. Where did our Bible come from?
Man, this is a 19-page document.
Yeah, it's longer than I thought it was.
Yeah. Well, because I remember at church it took me two Wednesdays to kind of to go through
Oh,
it.
really?
So yeah.
Okay. Well, we'll go through it we'll try to go through it quickly ish. So this is the first verse that you put. But you persist in what you have learned and persuaded yourself, knowing from whom you have learned, and that from childhood you have known the Holy Scriptures, which are able to make you wise for salvation through faith which is in Christ Jesus. All Scripture is inspired by God and useful for teaching, rebuking, correcting, training in righteousness, so that the man of God may be perfect, thoroughly prepared for every good work.
Amen.
2 Timothy 3:14 through 17.
Yeah.
So we start off with a little timeline here.
So you want me to start going through
Yeah.
this? All right. Basically, we're going to talk about where the Bible came from. We have to talk about biblical timelines, and really, it's kind of it's foundational when you're talking about anything historical to get your footing right on timelines. So we have the exit from Egypt in 1446. Remember that they were in the desert for 40 years. So we date Moses finishing the Torah in the plains of Moab, because remember, he never actually went into the promised land at around 1406 BC. Sorry, I got like a gas. For that same year, obviously 1406, Joshua, after Moses dies, Joshua and the Israelites enter the promised land. Then we have the period of the book of Judges. So we have basically the 1406 is the first 5 books of the Bible. The book of Joshua is written by Joshua. We think it could have been written by Samuel. It's a lot of people that were unsure on exactly who wrote the book of Joshua.
Okay.
But that's that period. And then the next book in the Bible is the book of Judges.
Okay.
So that one covered a period of from 1377 to 1055, which was roughly about 320 years. So then after that, then you have, after the period of Judges, now you have First Samuel, right? And Second Samuel, First Kings, Second Kings. So then that covers the reign of Saul, which is 1050, 1051 to 1011, 1010, because he reigned for 40 years. Then you have the reign of David from 1011, 1010 to 971. Then you have the reign of Solomon. So that's basically the Bible in First Samuel, Second Samuel, First Kings. Now you have the divided kingdom. After Solomon died, the kingdom broke apart. In the north, you had the kingdom of Israel, and in the south, you had the kingdom of Judah. If you see there, the kingdom of the south, it went from the year 931 that Saul died all the way up until the year 586. Now, what occurred in the year 586, Junior?
The Babylonians came and took them out.
Babylonians came in, they completely took them into captivity, and they destroyed the temple.
Yeah.
The north, their kingdom lasted only a little over 200 years, and they were taken out by who, Junior?
The Assyrians.
The Assyrian kingdom. So at this time, the Assyrians were the world power. Then the Babylonians killed them, which we're going to get to the next one in the next going down world empires. So at this point, the world empires, you have the Assyrian Empire, which was 911, and it was completely undone by 609, and that was by King Nebuchadnezzar and Nebuchadnezzar's father, and I can never remember his name. Then you have the Babylonian Empire, which they ruled up until 539. 539 was the year that the Jews were finally, the Israelites were able to return back into Israel. Then you had the Medo-Persian Empire. Just so you guys know, the Medo-Persian Empire is in modern day Iran. Babylonian Empire, modern day Iraq. And they were around for about 220 years, up until this guy named Alexander the Great came in. And Alexander the Great, he was part of the Greek Empire. They came in and in the year 330 destroyed the Medo-Persians. And however, Alexander died several years later. And then the Greek Empire was split into 4 groups. Basically, his 4 generals, the 4 top generals, they ended up getting sections of it.
Okay.
And here you have the divided empire. In Egypt, you had Ptolemy. In Syria, you had Seleucus. You have Macedon, which is Macedonia. You have Cassander. And then you have Thrace, which is basically northern Greece. You have, what is that guy's name?
Lysimachus?
He actually did that pretty good. That was good. So then that was the divided Greek Empire. And then the next big empire to come in was the Roman Empire, which they came in. They started around 6th century BC, and then they ended up really the Roman Empire came down. But if you want to call it the Republic of Rome, the Roman Empire, it was actually ultimately it was taken down by the Turks, by the Ottoman Turks.
Yeah.
And that was in year 1453. So they lasted a good 2,000 years. I mean, you know, they did pretty good. Now, as we continue in history, as far as timelines, the next big thing to occur within relating to the Bible, really, because remember, everything that we're talking about is what is related to Jerusalem, to the Jews, because they're the ones that had the Bible originally. You had the Maccabean Revolt. Basically, it was a group of a family. They were called the Maccabeans. They were under the rule of Greece, and they were not happy. And then there was this one general that was really bad, and he came in and he basically desecrated the temple, and that caused an uproar among the Jews. So then they had a revolt. Basically, they were fighting, and it ended up that they ended up kind of defeating the people that were oppressing them there. Then the next thing is the Hasmonean dynasty. The Hasmonean dynasty, just so you know, are the Herods.
Okay.
Like if you go to the New Testament, we have Herod the Great. We have all the King Herods. That was the Hasmonean dynasty. No, I'm sorry. Forgive me. I got ahead of myself. The Hasmonean dynasty was another group of kings that they were allowed to rule by the oppressors.
Okay.
And they basically left for about 100 years. And then in the year 63, Pompey, General Pompey of the Roman Empire, he captured Israel. And then the next big event was the Herodian dynasty. That is when the Roman leadership decides to allow Herod, the Herodian dynasty, to rule. You know, basically they don't want to get involved in the affairs of the Jews.
Yeah.
So they were just like, look, you guys handle them. You know, you report to us, but, you know, we don't want to deal in your disputes, you know. So that was a basic timeline of world and Jewish history.
And then you'll see some of those things are kind of directly in the Bible for different things, like the Maccabean revolt. You'll see like First, Second Maccabees in the Catholic and the Orthodox Bible, right?
Yeah.
As the
And in the Orthodox Bible, you have third and fourth.
yeah, okay,
Because there's 4 Maccabees.
yeah. And then obviously the Assyrian and the Babylonians are directly in the Bible for everyone in terms of different events that happened to the
Yeah,
Jews.
exactly. I mean, those are events that are
yeah.
not only world history, but yeah, it's written down there.
So now first is the Hebrew Bible, which I'm sure we'll talk about here. It's called the full thing is called the Tanakh, which is the entire Old Testament.
Do you remember it?
Yeah.
Okay, go ahead. What is it?
Okay. First you have the Torah, which is the first 5 books of the Bible.
Okay.
Then you have the Nevi'im,
Okay.
which is the wisdom books, I believe, right?
I don't remember.
And then the Ketuvim, I think, is the prophets.
Yeah, I had you and Kelsey memorize that, boy.
And then you'll see here is like a little bit of a difference from us, 24 books. If you're Protestant, you'll see in our Bible we have 39. They actually condense a lot of the prophets into singular books.
Yeah, they got
than-
like one book that it
Yeah.
has the 12 minor prophets.
Exactly.
So, but yeah, their Bible has 24 books. Ours has 39, but it's the same books. It's just they group them together into one.
Yeah.
So
And then from 1406 to 400, from Moses until
Malachi.
400 years before Jesus, Malachi,
which is the last prophet.
leading into the intertestamental period. So,
Intertestamental. period.
intertestamental.
Exactly.
So the first one is the Torah.
So you got the Torah, which is the first 5 books. Genesis is Bereshit, which is in the beginning. Exodus is the Shemot, which is names. That's what it means in Hebrew. Leviticus is Vayikra, which is and he called. So he called the Levites, the priest. Numbers is Bamidbar, which is in the wilderness, in the desert. And Deuteronomy, Devarim, is words. That's what that word means in Hebrew. Then you got the Nevi'im, which are the prophets.
I got the other way around.
Yeah, that's fine. You got Joshua, Yehoshua. God is my God is salvation. Judges is Shoftim, which is judges. You got Samuel, which is Shmuel. His name is God. You got Kings, which is Melachim, which is kings. You got Isaiah, which is Yeshayahu. God is salvation. You got Jeremiah, which is Yirmeyahu, God will raise up. Ezekiel, Yekzazel. I can never say those words. God will strengthen. And then you have the 12. You got Hosea, Joel, Amos, Obadiah, Jonah, Micah, Nahum. Go down. Habakkuk, Zephaniah, Haggai, Zechariah, Malachi. All of those are in one book in their Bible. And then we have the Ketuvim, which are writings, wisdom literature, poetry. So there you got the Psalms, you got the Proverbs, you got Job, and you got the 5 Megillot. The 5 Megillot is Song of Songs or Song of Solomon, depending on what Bible you got. You got Ruth. So in other words, this is one book, the 5 Megillot. So you got Song of Songs, Ruth, Lamentations, Ecclesiastes, and Esther. And then you have the book of Daniel. You have the book of Ezra, Nehemiah. And then you have Ezra and Nehemiah in one book in there. And then you have the book of Chronicles.
Which I would have put Daniel, Ezra, and Nehemiah as prophets if I were to do it. But
Yeah. Well, no, Daniel, not Ezra and Nehemiah, but yeah, definitely Daniel. But so yeah, that's the Hebrew Bible. That's the same Bible that Jesus would have read from. Well, back then they didn't have Bible. It would have been a scroll.
Yeah.
But those are the scrolls that would have been found in the temple and different synagogues. They would have all the scrolls or some scrolls depending on how wealthy the synagogue was, because to gather scrolls are very expensive back then. So now, what are some of the other proof that our Bible that we have today is true? You have the Dead Sea Scrolls, which is was found in 1946-47. It has the oldest manuscripts of the Tanakh and Deuterocanonical books. 40% of what they found out there were actual Hebrew scriptures. 30% were non-canonical books like Enoch, Jubilees, Tobit, Wisdom of Sirach, which those are apocryphal books, but they're not what we would call canonical. And then another 30% was just basically like rules, beliefs, government, stuff like that. We saw the complete scroll in the Israel Museum. That was absolutely beautiful sight. And then there were scrolls that were found by a sheep herder, and then they thought they were worthless, and then they went to an antique dealer. The guy ended up selling it for $28, and now it's priceless. So imagine that.
Next is the Samaritan Pentateuch.
This is during the Second Temple period. Everybody always wonders, how did the Samaritan woman know about the God of Israel? You know, they're like blasphemous, whatever. It's because they also had the Pentateuch. They had the Torah. It was written in their own language. It included the Torah. It is not known as a why Samaritan. It is not known as why the Samaritan woman would know about the Messiah, but we have to believe that maybe she had Genesis 3:15, Genesis 49:10, Deuteronomy 18:15, or maybe also the culture of the Jews. Because how would she know that they were waiting for the Messiah? Unless she either had a Bible written down, or she would have heard it from somebody else. So.
Next is Septuagint, or the Greek translation of the Tanakh or the Old Testament.
Yeah, basically what was going on is that the Greek Empire took over, and the Greeks spoke Greek, and they wanted the Bible in Greek. So then Ptolemy, and from 280, he was the boss over there in Egypt. From 285 to 247, he decided to gather together 70 Hebrew scholars, and he brought them over to Alexandria, and he had them translate the Bible to the Greek. So that is the reason why it's called the Septuagint, is because there were 70 Septuaginta. It means 70, so 70 people were there, and they were able to go and translate the Bible. So we have that as well, in other words. In other words, everything that I'm bringing up here is not only how we got the Bible that we have today, where it came from, but also to support everything that we have.
Yeah, of course. Because there's a lot of people, especially Muslims, that will say their Bible's been corrupted at several points.
Yeah,
in history,
exactly.
That if you actually look back at where we got our Bible, you'll see there's just not.
No, there's a clear chain of narration of handing down, and but of course they're still going to say it's corrupt. So then now you have the Syriac Peshitta, which is basically the Bible in Syriac. It was translated from the Hebrew Old Testament. So it is the Old Testament in Hebrew, and it's written in Syriac, which it is a Bible used in churches of that tradition, which is the Chaldean Catholic Church, the Maronite Church, the Syriac Orthodox Church, the Eastern Assyrian Church, and those churches are in Iran, Iraq, Turkey, Syria, Jordan, Cyprus. So just like the Greeks might use the Septuagint, the Syriac Peshitta is still around. Then you have the Talmud, which is it's the Jewish document. It is from the 2nd and the 5th century after Christ. It is composed of two components, the Mishnah and the Gemara. The Mishnah is the oral version of the law. The Gemara is the interpretation of that, like the commentary of it. So the Mishnah is the study by repetition of the oral law. The Gemara is the interpretation of the commentary by the different rabbis. There are two different Talmuds, the Jerusalem and the Babylonian. Both have the same Mishnah, but different Gemaras or different commentaries or different interpretations. So. Now we start to move away a little bit, and now we have writings now from this particular scholar. His name was Origen. He created something in the mid 3rd century called the Hexapla. Pretty cool document, actually. It was basically the Bible translated from word to word from 6 different texts. So in other words, he had the two Hebrew texts and 4 Greek texts, and he was able to put it like in columns. So you were literally able to read the Bible from different Bible translations, and then you can actually compare them, you know. So that was kind of a new thing back at that point, you know. Now it's something that we could, on my Bible app, I could bring up like 6 different, you know, versions, and then it's like, oh yeah, you know, the King James version of this, the ESV, but then back then Hexapla kind of was a little forward thinking and doing that.
Nice.
Now you got the Masoretic text. The Masoretic text was basically, it was a group of Jews that they were scribes in Jerusalem and Tiberias, and what they decided to do is that they decided to go back, and since the Hebrew language was evolving at that point, the original Hebrew language, the Hebrew Bible, did not have any vowels. So like, for instance, when you read Yahweh, it was YHWH. Like there was no YAHWEH, you know, as we have it written today. So what they did is that they went and got all of the original text, and they basically put vowels in there, and then they created vocalization and accentuation. They noticed that there were differences in text compared to the Septuagint, Dead Sea, Peshitta, and Samaritan Pentateuch. They wanted to create an authoritative version of the Bible that was clear based on everything they had. And just so you know, the Masoretic text is the text that is in every Bible today. Every Bible, their Old Testament grabs from the Masoretic text. So
okay.
This codex. Now we're going to talk about some codexes. This Aleppo Codex is the entire Bible. It was one of the original codexes that we have that's Masoretic, but it also it shows that everything that's in our Bible today is what they had at least back at that time.
Yeah, 920.
Yeah.
Okay.
Now you got the Leningrad Codex. This was found in Leningrad, which is St. Petersburg. It is basically the full version of the Masorah. So it's the full Masoretic text, and this goes back to 1008 AD. Then you got the Biblia Hebraica, which is the Bible that the Jews use. Their Bible. They walk around. They've had the newest one was the Biblia Hebraica Quinta. I have in my iPad the Stuttgartensia. But yeah, they basically got the Leningrad Codex, and they got it directly from that. So like, they're at least assured that they have something from at least 1,000 years ago.
Yeah.
That's word for word in their Bible. And of course, what we have in our Bible is exactly that, because the people that put together the translations of our Bibles in English and Spanish, whatever, they use the Masoretic text. So it's the same exact words.
Okay.
Now, what are some of the type of papers that were used back then? You have papyrus that was mostly found in Egypt. It comes from a plant that they would take it out. They would rip out the insides and they would press it down and let it dry. Then you had a parchment, which was animal skin. And you can go down a little bit and see the actual parchment being created there. So, you know, and if you look the one on the right is the papyrus. That's where you can, if you can't zoom in, but you actually see little, like, it's plants that they put on top of each other and press it down. That's why you see like little
like lines, like fibers,
lines and all that.
Yeah. And it's the hide of an animal.
And that's the hide of an animal.
So now we get to the New Testament. That entire thing was just,
How long have we been running?
I don't really know, actually.
I mean, because the thing is that this is gonna take a little bit. Oh, it doesn't say.
for about 50 minutes.
Okay, all right.
So now we're going into the New Testament, which is now we're talking about basically everything we were saying before, like the same format, just talking about the New Testament, how we kind of got there, starting from around that 2nd century, which is when they started like really mass copying the books that we have from the apostles.
Yeah, basically, and this is important because like the Muslims get this fundamentally incorrect. Everything that I just told you right now, it's how we got the Old Testament.
Yeah.
It's where we got everything that's in our Bibles that is in the Old Testament. The New Testament's a different story. New Testament, you now have, because remember, the New Testament was not a New Testament.
Yeah.
It was just letters. So you have Paul writing letters, and then what happens? The church in Rome would take his letter and they would copy it, and then they would send it to other places. Same thing with the Gospels. You know, Matthew writes his gospel. If it goes into the hands of the scribes, they start making copies. They start sending it to all the churches. Because remember, back then it wasn't just Jerusalem. You had Christians. The Christianity was spreading at Antioch. You had Alexandria. You had parts of Turkey. That's where Paul went and preached the gospel. Basically, Paul went to Turkey, all throughout Turkey, and Greece, all throughout Greece. So the gospel spreading. There's a church in Rome, so we know that. There's Christians in Rome. Paul even said in one of his letters that he wanted to go to Spain. We don't know if he ever got to, but you know, he wanted to go. So in other words, all throughout the northern part of Africa, all the way to Spain and Portugal, all of that Christianity just spreading. In other words, there's Christians there.
Yeah.
So then what happens is that they get these letters, they make copies, they start sending them. So Paul's sending his letter. He sends his letters to the church at Corinth. They make copies. They send it around. Same thing with Ephesus. Same thing with all the other ones. Luke writes his gospel, but then he also writes the book of Acts, where he's chronicling everything that happened. Now, we know that the book of Acts was written in between the year 60 and 65. The reason why is because if the book of Acts was written after the year 70, he would have definitely included the destruction of the temple. I mean, like, come on, how do you not include that? You know, the fact that he ends with Paul and in the situation where Paul was at, we know that was around the year 60 to 62. We know Paul would die later on. Peter would die around 65, 66. Paul would die around 68, 67, 68, around there. So what happens after that? After that, you start to have these letters being written, You also have Christian theologians that are writing their own works. You got Clement of Rome, you got Eusebius, you got Polycarp, you got a lot of these people that are writing stuff. So this first guy, Marcion, and you could still buy this Bible if you want. He was the first to publish he published the first canon of the New Testament very early in the church. You know, I mean, it contained 10 Pauline letters. He excluded 1st, 2nd Timothy, and Titus. And it also included the Gospel of Marcion, which basically he got the book of Luke and chopped it up a little bit. You can actually go on Amazon right now and purchase this Bible. It's like $10.
Oh, okay.
So yeah. But everybody in the early church thought that he was a heretic, so they rejected him and what he was trying to bring. Then another main theologian back then was Justin Martyr. He was the defender of Christianity. Two of his defense cards remain. He wrote to the Roman Emperor Antoninus to abandon the persecution of the church. So he was another one. The reason why we bring up some of these guys is because these guys were writers. And then another scripture that he has mentions the Acts of the Apostles being read on Sundays. So now we have the New Testament, some of the books that are in the New Testament being used by some of these early church theologians. Now you got the Muratorian fragment. It's a small little piece of parchment that it's dated anywhere from 170 AD to the 4th century.
Okay.
It's a list in Latin of the 7th century. It's a list in Latin of the 7th century, translated from the Greek that mentions almost all the books of the New Testament. So now we got, a little bit more credence going on here. Next, you got Irenaeus. He's around 180 AD. He was a Greek shepherd, Greek bishop shepherding Christian communities in southern France. He developed Christian theology and fought Catholic heresies. He used the 4 Gospels plus the letters of Paul.
Okay.
So in other words, this early church father, he used all 4 Gospels plus Paul's letters.
And it's one of those names you'll hear a lot once you start going to church history.
Oh yeah, Irenaeus
Yeah.
is a big name.
Mhm.
Origen, as I mentioned before, he was the first to collect all the New Testament books. He was the first person to write the actual term New Testament.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, like he actually coined the term New Testament.
Another name you'll hear a lot, but
Yes.
not in a good way. A lot
Yeah.
of people view his work as heresy nowadays. More like
Yeah,
after his
nowadays.
lifetime.
Yeah, nowadays he's kind of looked down, frowned upon,
Yeah.
but not everything he taught was bad. It's just some of the things.
Yeah, of course.
But a lot of people would say that he is kind of the father of the beginnings of moving into that what we would call Catholic-y.
Mhm.
Like some of his teachings were moving the church, or at least influencing people to get Catholic-y,
Okay.
you know? In other words, moving away from that original, firm, real gospel and going into another direction. Where's the little dog at?
That's all.
Oh, she's holding. Okay. Now you got Eusebius of Caesarea. He was a Greek. No, that other polar bear is sitting on the floor over here. As a Greek historian of Christianity. Polar bear. He's a bishop of the church in Caesarea. He was the first to collect the writings of Origen in the New Testament. The first to create canon tables containing 27 books of the New Testament.
Okay.
So he was so in other words, we're moving as we move further in time, the books that we have in our Bible start to get more weight.
Yeah.
People start to look at them and say, "Oh yeah, okay, these Bibles are good." Now you got the famous Council of Nicaea, where all the bishops were summoned, over 300 of them, by Emperor Constantine. They decided the divine nature of God and the Son and his relationship to God the Father. They created the annual observance of the Passover, and they worked to create canon law.
Mhm.
So that's what was done at the Nicene Council. Now you have the famous Easter letter of Athanasius of Alexandria. He was a Greek Christian theologian. He was also considered the Pope of Alexandria. He was also a bishop. Every single year, every bishop would write a letter
Mhm.
to all the other bishops,
Okay.
giving them like an update. Hey, this is what's going on in Alexandria. You know, like we have X amount of converts. We're doing this, we're doing that. So he wrote that in his letter, he wrote that the New Testament canon must have the current books that we have in our New Testament.
Okay.
So he was in other words supporting the idea that the New Testament to have the 27 books. This is the oldest evidence we have of the 27 books that we have in the New Testament being mentioned as canon.
Mhm.
So that's very important. And he did exclude some apocryphal or deuterocanonical books.
Okay.
Now the next big guy in church history is, of course, Jerome.
Mhm.
His first works, because basically the king, the emperor, wanted the Bible in Latin because they didn't really talk Greek; they talked Latin.
Yeah. At that time.
So it's the same thing as with the Septuagint. They tap on Jerome to say, "Hey, gather the books and translate it to Latin." His first work was the Vetus Latina. But then after, when he completed his whole work, they called it the Latin Vulgate.
Mhm.
And this Latin Vulgate would become the gold standard Bible in church history for the next 1100 years.
And this is the version that modern Catholic Bibles are derived from still,
Yes.
right? Okay.
This is the version that every Catholic Bible still get, if you get it in English, you
Yeah.
know, it comes from the Vulgate. Now you have the canonization of the New Testament. That first came about in the Council of Hippo in 393.
Okay.
And then again in the Council of Carthage, they reaffirmed it. So then they affirmed that the biblical canon that we have right now is the true canon. And Pope Innocent I recognizes the 27 plus plus the Apocrypha as canon.
Okay.
So that wasn't until later where Pope Innocent would
Yeah.
actually recognize that, but also the Apocrypha as canon. Now, what are some of this goes now to my lovely Muslim brothers and friends. Every Muslim loves to say, oh, your Bible's corrupt. It's corrupt. And the Christian apologists will say, well, when did it get corrupt?
Yeah.
It's corrupt. It's corrupt. Of course, the Islamic dilemma is that in the Quran, Allah sends down word telling Muhammad that what he has within his hands is the Bible.
Yeah.
He has the Old and New Testament in his hands. But then they would say, oh, it got corrupt. Okay, but when?
When?
So then, in other words, you're telling me that Allah is promoting a corrupted book? Like, first of all, why would Allah allow his word to be corrupted when he's in the Quran says Allah's words cannot be corrupted? Number one. Number two, why would if the books that Muhammad had in his hands were corrupted, why would Allah affirm corrupted book?
Mm-hmm.
So then that's when the Muslim either runs away or starts saying, oh, it's corrupt, it's corrupt. So then you ask them, when did it get corrupt?
Yeah.
They never could give you a clear answer. But now the the Christian apologist is smart enough. He could say, well, was it corrupted before or after? Then they might have to say after.
Yeah.
Then you tell them, okay, have you ever heard of Codex Sinaiticus? They're going to say, what? You're going to tell him that we have a complete Bible from 200 years before Muhammad.
Mm-hmm.
And guess what? It's word for word with what we have today in our Bible. Now, you'll get 1% of Muslims that'll leave Islam and actually want to engage and become Christians.
Yeah.
And the other 99 will say, nah, that was corrupt. They'll ignorance is bliss. They'll just say it's corrupt. But yeah, we have a mid-4th century Codex Sinaiticus. It's a manuscript. It's from the Septuagint and the New Testament Greek. Next, we have Codex Alexandrinus. It is the Septuagint and the New Testament Greek. That's from the 5th century.
Mm.
So now you got stuff from 250 years before Muhammad. Next, you got the Codex Vaticanus. It has 759 pages, 71 are missing. So in other words, it isn't the full, but it is from the mid-4th century.
Yeah.
You got the Vetus Latina, which that's what Jerome was putting together.
Mm.
They're manuscripts translated from text from the Septuagint plus some New Testament passages. So in other words, all of this is 200 to 300 years before Muhammad.
Yeah.
And it's all word for word what we have in our Bibles today. So this is really where you get into where you got your Bible. And this is also how you defend your Bible.
Yeah. And most of these, the only leg you can have to stand on is, well, there's some pages missing. What if you guys got, like, you're missing some important stuff?
Yeah. On those pages that are missing, Jesus was not crucified.
Yeah. And on those pages, Muhammad is he
mentioned in the Bible.
Yeah.
He's mentioned.
Yeah, sure, bud. Oh, the dog.
Oh, the dog didn't
yeah.
like liar. She doesn't like Geno Jennings. Oh, you know what? She was probably sleeping.
You have to tell her small barks.
All right. Next, you got the Latin Vulgate, which we talked about that before. Jerome, he translated into Latin from the Tanakh and the Greek New Testament books. It was commissioned by Damascus I in 382 AD. It would be the Bible used by the church for more than 1,000 years.
Mm.
It is still the Bible of the Catholics. At the Council of Trent, which is a famous council that the Catholic Church had after the Reformation, they declared the Vulgate to be authentic.
Okay.
Next, you got the Textus Receptus, and the reason why I'm bringing this up is because our Bibles contain this.
Mm-hmm.
It came from a guy named Erasmus of Rotterdam. He was a Dutch Catholic theologian. He did a translation of the New Testament Vulgate into Greek.
Mm.
So it is the basis of the German Lutheran Bible, the William Tyndale Bible in English, the King James, and the Reina Valera in Spanish.
Mm.
He originally wanted to clean up the Latin of the Vulgate but then he decided to just go back to the Greek because it was clearer.
Yeah.
So then he wrote Textum ergo abes nunc ab omnibus receptum. The reader now has the text that is received by all. So that's why they call it the Textus Receptus.
Yeah.
And then, of course, after you have the Luther Bible, which is the Textus Receptus New Testament, the Vulgate, and the Masoretic Old Testament. You got Martin Luther, leading figure of the Reformation, died in 1546. He was a German priest, theologian, author, hymn writer, professor, ordained as a Catholic as a Catholic priest. He questioned the indulgences, which we're not going to get into that today. In 1517, he published his 95 Theses, which he nailed to the wall of the church in Wittenberg. He claimed that the church, that repentance required by Christ in order for sins to be forgiven involves a sinner's spiritual repentance rather than sacramental confessions. He was denounced as a heretic by the church and then excommunicated. He published his New Testament in German in 1522, because remember, the Bible in the church is only in Latin. And he completed the full Bible in 1534 in German. And that's really the basis of what the Lutheran church would have as their Bible.
Yeah.
Then you have the famous Tyndale Bible, which is the Textus Receptus of the New Testament, the Masoretic text, and the Vulgate of the Old. And also he used Luther's German, just to be able to get some good writing down. He's an English guy, born in 1494. He was executed by the Catholic Church in 1532 because they said him translating the Bible to English was a heresy. So his friend, Miles Coverdale, continued his work and a few years later published it in 1536. So that's why today you'll see it called the Tyndale Coverdale Bible. Tyndale first acquired the Luther Bible in German, then gathered the Textus Receptus, and then he started doing his work, and then he was ultimately killed by the Catholic Church. Why would you translate it to English? You're not cool with the Latin, so...
Is Coverdale the guy that you can never remember his name?
Which one?
Coverdale?
Coverdale, yeah.
You can, every time we talk about translating English, you like never remember.
Well, no, the other one is Wycliffe. Wycliffe was the
yeah.
original one, but yeah. The only reason I don't put Wycliffe is because Wycliffe's Bible really doesn't play a role in our Bible. Because remember, it's how we got our Bible, the one that we use today.
Yeah, I guess this is like one of those. I guess not here. Tyndale dying is like one of those acts by the Christian church that is just wild. That the Islam guy was talking about earlier in the comments.
I agree. There was some bad people.
Yeah. Same thing happened to a lot of reformers before Martin Luther.
Of course. And then you have the Great Bible, which was the Tyndale Bible, the part of the Vulgate and Luther's German. It was prepared by Miles Coverdale in 1539. It was commissioned by King Henry VIII of England to be read in church services. The Tyndale Bible was banned by royal proclamation in 1530. King Henry wanted an authorized English Bible. So England renounced papal authority in 1534. Basically, they were like, we're done with the Catholic Church. So then that's when they basically created the Anglican Church.
Yeah.
And the Great Bible was a complete Bible, including the Old Testament, New Testament, and Apocrypha. Next, you got the Geneva Bible, which that came from the Textus Receptus, the Vulgate, and the Tyndale. It is primarily the Bible used by 16th century Protestants. This was the Bible that came over on the Mayflower. I don't know if you knew that, with the Puritans, with the Pilgrims. This Bible was used by William Shakespeare, by Oliver Cromwell, by John Knox. It was the Bible taken to America on the Mayflower. It was compiled by all Calvinist theologians. It was first mass-produced in the Bible. The Gutenberg Bible was printed earlier, but it came from the Vulgate. So this was the second Bible mass-produced. It came with study guides, aids, and citations, which they call those apparatus, which was pretty cool because that was like a modern thing. Each book had an introduction. They had maps, tables, and indexes. Pretty modern stuff, Queen Mary I was Catholic. Protestant scholars fled to Geneva, Switzerland, which is where John Calvin lived.
Mhm.
William Whittingham supervised the translation. Wording is much harsher and direct than the Great Bible. New Testament published in 1557, the Complete Bible in 1560. They printed it in England in 1576. They did not use the Masoretic because they did not know Hebrew well. They used parts of the Textus Receptus, but relied heavily on Tyndale's English translation.
Mhm.
And it is a complete Bible, including the Old Testament, New Testament, and the Apocrypha.
I think this one is interesting because if we ever get into church history, I'm sure we'll talk about this. Why they wanted this Bible so much over the Great Bible, and it essentially is because the Anglican Church at the time, they didn't find it reformed enough.
Yeah.
They didn't find it to be Protestant enough compared, especially to the Martin Luthers and the John Knoxes and the Calvins of the world. They didn't find it go far enough from the Catholic Church.
Exactly.
And the Bible, the Great Bible, made by King Henry, just kind of like continued on that. It didn't go far enough. They wanted a more pure Bible.
Yeah.
Which is what the Puritans brought over here.
Exactly.
Next is the Bishop's Bible.
Next, you got the Bishop's Bible, produced under the authority and of the established Church of England in 1568. So this is now what we would call today the Anglican Church. Just so you know, this Bible's horrible.
Mm.
But anyway, completed by a group of bishops, which were English pastors. They did not like the wording from the Geneva Bible. They thought it was too offensive.
Okay.
The base text, this is the base text for the King James Bible.
Mm.
The bishops agreed with Calvin's theology, but they did not agree with his views on church function. Calvin was the father of Presbyterianism. Presbyters or elders were heads of the church, not bishops or pastors. Bishops did not like the Great Bible because of its reliance on the Vulgate instead of the original Hebrew and Greek.
Mm.
It is a complete Bible, including Old Testament, New Testament, and Apocrypha.
Mm.
And then next we got the King James Bible. This is the OT is the Old Testament is Masoretic, some Septuagint and Vulgate. The New Testament comes from the Textus Receptus. The Apocrypha comes from the Septuagint and the Vulgate.
Mm.
This was authorized and commissioned by King James I in 1604, and it was completed and published in 1611. It included 39 Old Testament books, 14 apocryphal books, and 27 New Testament books. It was the third English Bible approved by the Church of England. The first one was the Great Bible, the second one was the Bishop's Bible. The Puritans, the English Protestants wanting to purify the Church of Roman Catholic practices, they complained to King James saying previous Bibles still had a Catholic stench. James wanted this version to reflect the Episcopalian, what they call today Anglican, structure of the Church of England. 47 English scholars worked on the King James Bible, 3 on the Old Testament, 2 on the New Testament, 1 on the Apocrypha. It was updated in 1769, which the English language updates. And then in 1826, they began printing the Bible without the Apocrypha.
Mm.
So that is how we got our Bible. And then, of course, I could have gone into all of the different,
like the
ESV, NASB, all of those. But basically, all of those translations
come from
all of those they come from this.
Yeah.
So that is how we got our Bible, boys and girls. It was a long road.
Yeah.
However, it was a road well taken simply because you could see what you're holding in your hand has a chain.
Yeah.
It came down, and we have proof of text from before, after. We have full Bibles from well before Muhammad. So that whole thing can't stand. So you can comfortably know. Really, the point of this whole entire thing was for you to be confident in knowing that you have God's word in your hand.
Yeah.
We have proof that everything that you have comes from an authorized background, and thank the Lord that he preserves his word.
Yeah.
So that's basically
and it wasn't just random people putting whatever they believe in your Bible. So now it's like, oh, you could have anything in your hands. That's not how it works.
No.
Even like the modern NASBs is like sure, you might have 100 people translating, but then you have councils and councils making sure that they agree with everything that was put
Oh
down.
yeah. You can't come out with a Bible translation unless you got like the approval of a
Yeah,
whole bunch of people.
exactly.
So, man, considering I haven't looked at this document in 3 years, I pretty much remembered most of it.
Yeah.
You know.
You went through it fast. It was 19 pages. Compared to what we did with Kelsey.
No. If I would have done it like for real, it would have been 3 hours.
Yeah.
But
Even then, I feel like with Kelsey, when we were doing it back then for Sunday school, it took us like forever for some reason.
well, but it's also why she could probably still know what Tanakh means. Kelsey will still know what Tanakh is. There you go, my girl Kelsey. I miss her.
It's been a while.
Yeah.
Okay. I think we've been going on for like hour 20.
Hour 15.
Yeah, hour 15.
Yeah, all right.
All right. Well, if you guys have any ideas for what you want to see in the future, obviously now we have this new thing that we're trying to go on just to see what works, what doesn't. If you have any ideas or anything you want to see, put it in the comments. I know we don't get too many. We might get some hate comments for some things we were talking about earlier, but
Yeah.
it's part
You
of the
know what's
game.
weird though? The entire video is gonna see us looking up at a TV screen.
Oh yeah, I guess.
Isn't that kind of weird though? Like,
But they could see the. Actually, let me see.
no, I'm just saying, like it's like it for people to watch,
Where are
like
we looking?
watch us.
Looking up here. Oh, then it covers the sign. Not here.
No. I mean, but you know what I'm saying, right?
Yeah.
Like for the full hour and 15 minutes, we're like,
We're looking at
not
the screen.
the camera. Yeah. Sorry, everybody. Like we're looking at the screen. We'll figure it out.
Yeah, it is what it is. I don't think it matters that much.
You don't think it matters?
No.
All right.
Hey, you watch like a Joe Rogan podcast, or just like the camera is facing away from everyone, they're just talking to each other.
Yeah, that's true.
So, okay. Well, thank you guys for watching. We'll see you guys next week. Please
Yeah.
give us more suggestions if you want to see something different.
Yeah, and if you have hate comments, write those. Too.
Yeah, those are fun
funny.
to see.
Those
yeah.
are funny.
We'll probably do that like every so often if I see some funny ones.
Yeah, we'll
Yeah,
see.
yeah. All right. Thank you.
God bless you.